And we're just chatting. It's so funny. Yeah.
Do you know? I don't know if I think Mooch told you about what was going to happen, but we'll just chat about.
Cry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's actually break down and cry.
Yeah, that's ideally. Yeah.
Perfect.
And if you do that after the podcast if you want. We just want to make people do that.
Should we tilt this a tiny bit? We're good.
I think. Oh yeah.
Am I loud enough, Mooch?
You're always loud.
You got the levels here? Okay, cool.
Okay.
But if you want to move the microphone
To the left a bit? To the left, to the left. Alright, cool. Alright, cool.
That's lovely.
It's all pretty light-hearted, so the same sort of tone which we were just chatting with there.
Wicked.
But we'll go through a couple of like silly news stories that are like where people have failed in bizarre stories from this week, and then the second half is like the half where we talk and ask you about like times that things haven't gone your way.
Wicked.
Often what people do is they do one life fail, one like comedy fail.
Okay.
But you can do whatever you want. Some people talk about one thing for 40 minutes. Some people have gone through like 12 things in 20. So
Nice.
And like nothing's too dark or off limits. Like we've had everything from like overdosing to divorce to like
Shit.
don't worry.
yeah, and like we will be like serious with you at that point, but like we'll make
We're not
jokes
gonna
and
be
stuff.
like,
no, like what a twat! Oh my days!
This guy
And, like,
OD'd,
and then, like,
OD'd.
on the camera, it just goes to your face, crying face, like loser. Like the text comes up. Yeah.
Why?
I want to get more followers. I want to get more followers for the audacity. They laugh at people that have problems, man.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so like whatever you want to talk about, more
wicked.
welcome. And yeah.
Okay.
You want to just clap again?
Sorry.
And then,
It's like church, Mooch.
I wouldn't know, mate.
Yeah.
You're in.
Okay.
Keep going.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I'm your host, Tom Elwes. I'm joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Hey Tom, thank you for having me again. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad to have you on once again.
Cheers. You don't sound it, but it's fine. I will say at the top of the podcast today, I'm happy how well the Adif nights are going at Vauxhall Comedy Club.
Yeah, we're all very excited. Shout out Mooch for
Shout out
putting that
Mooch.
all on and making it happen.
Yeah, Vauxhall Comedy Club, get down there Monday to Thursday.
Yeah, Monday to Thursday, but Tuesdays Adif night.
but only Tuesdays you come.
Just so we know, we're very, very happy today to be joined on Funmbi.
Yes, Funmbi's in the house. Everyone, hiya. Nice to be here on the All I Do Is Fail podcast.
We'll cut out that second where you
I can't wait to tell my mum, I'm on the All I Do Is Fail podcast. She'll be like, so you're just feeling. It's the name of the podcast.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
And you have your own podcast as well?
Yes, shout out to Cause, Funmbi, K-Kurt, Dame Baptiste, Ola the comedian, Darren, and Ishan, and Tez, in case I forget someone.
What's the most amount of people you've had on that podcast?
I think 6 is the most, you know.
Wow.
6, yeah.
That's a lot of people.
It was like a little gang, if anything. It was mandem in the house. It started with like, normally it's like 4, but then like when everyone's around, it can get to like 6.
Yeah.
7 is the max of all of us, but we've never had all 7 in together.
Oh, wow,
We
yeah.
have
want
six
that
mics, so that's
Well, we'll
People
take Mooch.
share mics.
We'll take your mic, Mooch.
yeah, which is the development of the Adif podcast, let me tell you. Mooch coming in. I like it. I like having the producer in there.
No, we like it. Mooch is our producer. All our fans and listeners know that, but he also produces Quotes Full as well.
Yeah.
Mooch is Dr. Dre, man. I keep
Yeah,
saying
he
it,
is,
man.
yeah,
Dr. Dre out here, bro.
The Dre of podcasts.
The Dre of podcasts, man.
Beats by Mooch is different.
Beats by Mooch.
Beats by Mooch. Speak that to existence, man.
Beats by Mooch.
Man, I'd definitely get some Mooch merch. It'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be beats with a podcast, but like smooth tones by Mooch.
yeah.
When they start doing like
Intellectual
branding,
banter by Mooch.
when they start branding podcast mics, you know we're done, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, everyone's kids getting their podcast mics.
Yeah.
Taking pictures on Instagram. And people just dashing them off of Amazon and then returning them after they got the photo.
I feel like where's it going to go though with podcasts? Like eventually it's going to get just people going to be doing podcasts just like walking down the street. It's like I'm doing my podcast.
Yeah, do my
like,
podcast,
podcast.
yeah.
I'm actually 24-hour podcast in my life, like all the
the
time.
involvement of podcasts.
Yeah.
man.
Just
Just enjoy it now, innit?
Yeah. It's going to end up just people's train of thought. Just
I know,
people
right? I
talking.
know.
Yeah.
Just do it, whatever.
Yeah, and the worst thing is like people would actually, like if they're famous, people would listen.
Yeah, whatever. Look what's working now. Like, who knew half the things we do now? I watch reaction videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
People watching football that I already seen before.
Yeah.
Just to see how they react to it.
Yeah.
And they start getting upset when they don't feel it the way I did.
And then you're filming yourself reacting to their
them
reaction.
reacting, yeah.
And it'd be like, I only watch reaction videos.
Yeah, reaction.
I want to see if they reacted the way that person reacted to their reaction.
So it's a mad what works.
But what is interesting with reaction videos is they're all having the reaction that like the general public is having. That's it. It's just like they're not doing anything unexpected.
No,
they're not
I expected that moment.
You're not coming to them for like intellectual critique of like you're just wanting them to enjoy it when you enjoyed it and not like it when you didn't.
Because what is a reaction video? I guess it's just a review diluted to I was like, oh great, now I know.
Oh, so my reaction was valid. Wicked.
Some guy flipping a chair like that was really good. It was really good.
Fantastic. Yeah.
All right, well, maybe we can do that as an off-spin of All I Do Is Fail, reaction to reaction videos.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we'll start now.
But without, like, context of not knowing what the original content video was. So we're just watching.
Make up a viral video.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
People react to it.
People react to it.
Right, guys, we're going to move on to our first section of All I Do Is Fail. As we always do, we're going to move on to the news.
That's the jingle.
The drum roll. Okay.
Yeah,
we got that one. All right, guys. The first story of our failed news section is Uri Geller, blast from the past. Right,
wow, the spoon guy.
Yeah, he's told everyone, I'm going to stop Brexit telepathically.
Wow,
he's going to use his telepathic abilities to force the next referendum. That's.
Did you read the letter? Did you read the open letter that he wrote? It's amazing.
Oh, I haven't actually read the full letter.
Oh yeah, sorry. Just catch up on me. This is traditional ADIF is Tom looking at the stories about 2 minutes before getting into the room.
Right.
The full letter is fantastic because it's like when you're trying to go into an interview that you're clearly not qualified for and making up all sorts of things in order to justify your reason for being there. His letter starts off with like, Teresa, I've known you for a long time. We go back many years. And you know what I can do. Wow. It sounds like, and then he's like, I have been endorsed by the CIA, MI5, MI6, the FBI.
Isn't that snitching in a sense? Then everybody know I'm watching. They're in the back like, shh.
But like, he was weirdly with Uri Geller. He was actually employed by like the CIA in the 80s because like in the 80s like the US government did actually fund a lot of money to psychic research because they thought the Russians were doing it. And this is true. They really did do that.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah. No. In this day and age, they really did employ Uri Geller for a little bit, but obviously they know it's bullshit now, and it's nonsense.
Well, Uri doesn't.
In the back of his mind, he must know that he's bullshit.
They wanted to stop Russians eating soup, so they wanted to bend the spoon every time, and that was really going to damage their soup supply.
But I always think like this with people who are like mediums or psychics. Like in the back of your mind, you must know that you're bullshit. Or do you think they're so deluded?
I feel like there's a general feeling they get. But then it's manipulated to, tailor to what the individual's feeling. Because they've been doing this for years. So they must know it's complete bullshit, what they're saying. But there is an element of some kind of truth.
How are you with spirituality, all that sort of thing?
I was raised in the church in Nigerian, so my spirituality is God.
Do you know what I mean?
Not psychics.
No. But not psychics, no.
Because remember, in church you have like prophets, right? So people who prophesy things into your life. So they'll say, I have a vision that you're going to be married in 10 years. And some of them come to pass.
Yeah, and sometimes they're wrong, and no one blames anyone.
Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Like one guy once said to my mum, you won't stop having kids till you have twins. And her next set of kids were twins.
But it's just like.
But then there's that element of, is it true or is it just that feeling you get, Because you can say it to anyone.
Yeah. You could throw it out there, like you could throw out like a million statements to a million people. And like, just statistically, some
and
of
I
them
noticed as
happen.
well, there was like somebody in here is going to buy a new car. There's 10,000 people in here. I mean, that's a good possibility.
That sounds like bad MCing. Like, hey, guys, does anyone wake up in the morning?
Yeah. Anyone eating today?
Yeah. So, I see what you mean when it's like they play the odds a lot.
Yeah. So
keep
it general. They're never going to be like,
general.
You're gonna have
and if you pay attention, you realize how general a lot of things are. But because you're in the moment, you don't pay attention to that. Yeah. Because everyone, somebody is going to buy a new house. You're just like, that's me. Like, you know damn well. You're not close to getting your rent sorted yet. Let alone a house.
Imagine if they just drop something like, someone in here is going to die before they leave.
Like this. I'm good on that one. What's the next one? We're on the next one. We're on the next one.
Or just like if you're playing like...
Everyone pointing to the guy and they're like...
If you're just
people weaving that one.
If you're just going on like raw statistics and things, you can just be like, turns out here 20% of you have chlamydia. Like,
the funny thing, those will actually be factual. Like I said, someone might actually down the way out tonight. That's actually a possibility. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not. I'm not lying. It's just a possibility. But no one's gonna come back to that seminar. If that was the word, That's the thing. People don't like to hear the truth. They want to hear what's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The truth is, a lot of people won't be famous. That's just the truth.
Shut up, Funmbi, man.
Yeah, man.
It's hard enough to
That's
convince
just the
our
truth.
parents this is
But
useful.
you can do it if you try. It just sounds better.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is
Put your mind to it. And it
Put
will
your mind
happen.
to it. If you just dig deep and try hard, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to get there. And you know, deep, when you're in there, you're like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
I
actually, I
don't
think there's, like,
that.
there's a lot of elements that have to go in there.
Lot of
A lot of
elements.
luck has to happen.
What's
like-
that? A PR team? I didn't know they had to exist. You know?
Yeah. I didn't realize that was the secret source.
Yeah.
Oh, £2,000 to spend on PR.
yeah, right.
Ah.
Oh,
I heard-
your dad's an agent. Oh, that's
right.
oh,
I
that's
heard Ed
useful.
Sheeran spends 40,000 a month on PR.
Who does?
Ed Sheeran, 40,000 a month on PR.
Whoa.
He has to sell records.
Yeah,
If I'm paying that money, I have to see myself in your homes.
I would, but like, he's probably got like, but when you've got what, he's probably got what, like 50 million Instagram
Right,
followers,
right.
Like that you could just do one post and pay that off for a year.
For a
like,
year,
it's
and so it
just-
makes sense to invest like that. But when you're an upcoming artist, where you're gonna get 40 grand for PR, you know? So you can't.
What's the budget?
it'd
I
be
mean,
interesting
Mooch charges. I don't know what he charges. He charges us 30,000 for the studio. Is this- I assume it's I assume it's similar.
Yeah. For the mics, he charges us.
He doesn't even run our Instagram. He has to get a
You
bot
know?
to do it.
Yeah. So you realize, you know, when those things, it makes so much sense when you generalize it.
Yeah.
Because people won't give up when you generalize.
Yeah.
You tell people the truth. People like, if you told people the odds of people that don't actually make it in like Hollywood, you'd be like, I'm gonna try medicine.
Yeah.
You know, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But no one tells you that
No one
aspect
tells
because the glossier side is just is sellable.
I once saw a girl who was really into all of it for a bit. She went to two.
What's all of it?
She went to two mediums.
Oh right, yeah.
I said, "Doesn't that make it large?" Did not appreciate that joke. She did not appreciate that joke.
Don't you hate it when you're a comic and you throw inside gold
and people-
and they're like, I'm being serious?
Yeah,
With me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not what I'm here for. Go to a play.
I can't resist that. That was a gold moment. That's like an open goal.
Exactly.
Especially if you're on a date and you do that as well. And you like throw out, you're like,
Oh.
and they're looking at you just like,
Wrong
And then,
crowd.
and then she brings that, I can't take you seriously.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, whatever.
I'm actually talking about my dad who died. Yeah, it's not funny.
Well, so mate, she was telling me about one of the mediums, and this is while we were like in bed together. Not during, but
Okay.
we were
You
chilling.
already laid it
We were
down.
chilling. Don't laugh at me. Mooch is laughing at the idea that I'd be in bed with anyone. But just chilling, and she was talking about one of her sessions that she'd had. And she
Wait,
said,
with another guy? Oh, the medium. Karen.
Yeah.
And you had
Oh,
that?
and she was like, and you're the small.
You're like, this is a different session.
And she said that the medium told her that her ex-boyfriend was her son in a past life, which she said made a lot of sense. I was like, okay. And then
How slow was the erection going?
Yeah, man.
yeah. And then she also said that the medium said that her ex-boyfriend's friend was actually her soulmate. And again, she said, and that did make a lot of sense again.
It's so general, man. I used to have I won't do the bit because Adi gets angry when I shoehorn bits
Hey,
in. But like,
I
I used to have
get
a bit
angry.
about going to see a medium and then just like making up who my granddad was, and then like, because if you let them believe it wasn't a real person, they'll
Yeah.
go down that line of questioning and go with you all the way on it, and you can just be like, well, that's not a real person. So obviously you're full of shit.
Right.
No, I think all these things are a coping way. Like,
But what
if
did you-
people
what
want
did
to
you say
believe
her
it, why
in
not?
the medium? What did you say after the session? Like, what did you just lie there and be like, what the fuck? Or
Well,
were you just
after
kinda-
I was just like, cool. Because I've been in before when I've been with girls who have been like, I'm spiritual, and I used to take the piss, or like, because that's your nature, isn't it? That's your
Right,
nature as a
right,
comedian,
yeah,
that you
yeah.
don't believe it. But I thought now I'm just gonna be open-minded or / not give a shit and just be like, well, if you believe it, cool, that's
You're into
fine.
what you're into.
And you know what? We don't see each other anymore, and that says more than I could ever say.
I wonder what her medium will say about that. You know? Told you it wasn't your soulmate.
Yeah, innit? Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, actually, that guy's penis
yeah.
actually grew inwards. So you didn't see that at the time, but and she's like, that made a lot of sense.
but like the whole spiritual thing, like he can hook people anytime. Like, I've got a mate who's a builder, and like he's just like proper like Islington guy, like grew up in North London his whole time, just like been a builder, and then just like one time like he turns around and he starts like talking about chakras and that, and you're just like, this just is so seems out of character, but like people can. I don't know, it's like a YouTube black hole that you can just sink yourself into with it, and then you
yeah.
just start believing everything.
The thing is, I think we as human beings in general, we just need to believe in something. I think we all want to believe in something so much that That's why you can see these cults and stuff like that where people are just easily misled. And you're like, how the hell did you buy into that?
Yeah.
It's that desire to want to believe.
Well, that's the bit of it that I don't like, because I completely think that's absolutely natural. I think it's weirder to be walking around thinking like nothing exists. This is not worth it. It's not worth me talking to anyone, making any relationships for anything. And it's weird, because it's a coping mechanism. What I don't like is
The
when
control
people
aspect.
and sorry,
The control
the
aspect.
control aspect. And I don't know what Yuri's like.
Right.
I'll call him Yuri just by first name.
I would say very weird.
But,
Yeah.
but like the idea of like making money and making people buy into it in order
Yeah.
to get some personal gain.
They always
is
make
what I
money.
feel
That's the thing. Like with all those, like, you know,
It's always
that
like that
cult
one-
stuff. It's always
And the thing is, we live in a capitalistic world, right? So you can make money off anything.
yeah.
And if someone
Apart from
says
comedy, obviously. But
if someone says to you they're willing to listen to you, tell them their future's going to be different, and you can make $10 a customer, someone's going to do that.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know?
I'm telling you, like, cool church is coming back in like a big
Oh,
big
well,
way.
cool church.
Like trendy church, like
Oh, yeah.
Hillsong and all that. Like
Spac Nation.
yeah, like what-
you know.
Sorry,
Justin
what are
Bieber's-
these? What are these?
they're
things?
all-
I don't
they're
know.
like- it's
Mega
like
churches.
mega churches, but like their sermons are like at the O2
Yeah.
and like
Wow.
they have like
Because remember,
laser shows.
I grew up in that world in terms of going to church every Sunday and
Yeah.
having fellowship. And at the core essence of church, I honestly believe if your heart is pure and you're just worshiping God, just to be a better person, you get the fruits of the good things in life. But the thing is, people go to church believing they can get a mansion from there and a nice car and their problems are going to be solved. And so what happens is it becomes a show. And what I noticed was the church would advertise the best pastors on like a major event. And then we'd all come and see that. Similar to if you had like a Michael Jackson, a Prince, a Luther Vandross, and a Diana Ross on a flyer. You're like, well, where's the tickets?
Might change the first name of that list now. But I agree. About 2 months ago.
general
Yes,
right,
absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Church of the Catholics.
Exactly, yeah.
But and people would flock to that kind of show. And so what we're in church where it was funny to me was, well, if it's the word of God, does it matter who's preaching? Surely we should treat everyone who's preaching God's word the best way. But no, there are some great speakers.
Yeah.
And people want to hear great speakers. And the great speakers now can get money off of that. You write a book, people want to hear your words. Everything you say now becomes gospel in a sense. And so that's where the money comes in, because you get people's attention.
And so obviously, you're spiritual, very good at public speaking from the comedy.
Yeah.
Did you ever think at one point that's
be a
what I would
preacher?
want to do?
Yeah.
No, my dad's a pastor. My younger brother's a pastor.
Oh, wow,
But
okay.
I was always funny. So it was never I could never take church serious. I would never be able to deliver a serious sermon.
Right.
I will find a routine in the parting of the Red Sea somehow.
Is there not a little scope
Let's
for
explore that one.
like Christian jokes? Like,
Well, I used to do shows at
Oh,
churches,
okay, yeah, that's what I
and
said.
they would always call me. You can't talk about the pastor. You can't curse. I've been to church. I know I can't. I'm not gonna come. What's up, motherfucker? Praise the goddamn Lord. I'm not gonna do that. You know,
Just do Def
like I
Jam
knew,
in there,
just
man.
let it out. You know, I was like, I know, I
Doing
can
impressions
handle
of the
this.
pastor.
But what they found, what you realize is this though. They would tell me not to curse or, say whatever, talk about sex in church in front of the members. What they didn't realize was when I'm talking about sex or cursing, it's the same members, but they're just in a comedy club this time. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're not hiding nothing. You're just keeping it fresh in the building. But I was good with that because I could adapt the material. But it's the same customers. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Do
that's
you
what you
ever
start to
get
realize.
heckled in the church?
I had an opening line. It was like, if I do a joke that you don't like or, you don't think it's funny, before you get restless or try and heckle, just ask yourself, what would Jesus do? And they just laughed at that. So no one would heckle you after that. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's like, it's
Yeah,
true, what would
yeah.
Jesus do?
Yeah,
So,
going
yeah.
against it. Okay, right, guys. We are now going to move on to our second news story very quickly. And this is a story of unfortunate loss for someone who. So apparently, Winston Churchill's hat and some of his cigars and a load of his letters were found at like a car boot sale and like sold for basically no money, and it was worth 10 grand.
Wow.
Yeah. Someone was selling it at a car boot sale, and someone picked it up for like £2, and it was worth 10 grand.
Did the guy who picked them up, is he sold them on as well?
Yeah, he was on Antiques Roadshow with them.
Was
He
it-
said he got them at a car boot sale.
Did he know when he bought them?
Huh?
I'm sorry, I don't know why else Tommy hasn't read it.
No,
But,
yeah. That shit. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
read the
sneak
stuff.
this.
Cool, Yeah. No, he knew because he like read the letters and stuff, and then so he just bought it. Like
He
Oh, so
read
you didn't
Churchill's
tell them,
letters.
oh.
Who is this guy?
No, because he saw it. He saw the hat and like cigars and stuff, and then he started flicking through the papers that were with it, and one of them was addressed like Winston Churchill. It's like signed at the end of it. Anyway, he bought them all for a couple of quid, and it's
Yeah, but
10
the
grand.
guy selling them, he didn't know what he was selling.
They got, not a clue.
Who's selling cigars at car boot sale anyway? That's not where
And
I
the
go
top
for
Oh,
that.
mate, you can find weird stuff like car boot
Yeah.
sale.
I used to do car boot sales with my dad, man.
But they used to have a
Right.
car boot sale in Hackney Downs before they cleaned out for the Olympics.
Right,
They
okay.
used to call it Sunday Market. You could get anything there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get humans there if you wanted. I want to get 2 humans, bro. All right, cool.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Not that much. Not for that much. Bro. I take out a little bit. Like there's 2 people there.
I knock off,
Alright,
man. There's
yeah.
2
Alright, what you
people.
talking-
Yeah.
Come on, respect me, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Respect me,
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
a good guy.
Car boot sales were
Yeah.
just a joke.
Yeah, there's 2 places on Holloway Road. There's a shop called I don't want to say it. So Games for You, and definitely we got burgled because we grew up in Archway, and 100% saw my PlayStation in that because it had a sticker on it. And some kid had fucking taken it to that shop.
I went to Holloway Boys.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's called Holloway. But I didn't rub the store though. I'm just
That's it.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You know, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's nuts. Games for You, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a Games for You in Hackney.
Yeah, and also I remember also at London Fields, if you wanted to buy, if your bike got nicked, you could 100% buy it on a Sunday because there's some bloke used to come down there with nicked bikes. You could buy them.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, I miss Sunday markets, man.
Yeah.
That's a
Well, yeah,
big
'cause
The good shit. That's
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't always weirded me out at car boot sales when we'd be selling stuff, and someone would always come along, pick up something, some little trinket or nothing, and they go, "How much is this?" And you'd be like, 10p. They look at you like, "Come on." I
wouldn't pay it.
I'm rich. Like,
Man
do you think
came,
I'm
they came to the car boot sale with a budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going above
look at me
9,
like-
bro.
Yeah, I'm not paying that. 7
Like,
UB. That's
7, that's me.
7p.
That's a rhetorical question. How much it is? Like, I'm walking off. Like,
You know when you say 10p, you're essentially saying it's free.
Yeah.
it's a courtesy of
You know
like.
what I mean?
yeah,
I'm
here's
just
the
putting a
thing,
price on
Yeah.
it.
I
Look
just
at you weird for 10p in that.
Here's 8p.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
And
You
they're
got to
like-
take it or leave
Yeah.
it.
I just bought the flash screen
Yeah.
over there, man. I
Yeah.
can't break into another
Yeah.
50p.
They got no money, and they're like, "Okay, well, 7p, fine, take it." And they get out their wad of cash.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh yeah,
You got
give you
change."
5." Yeah. Man, but I never got that. But no. Well, that guy, I don't know where I stand with him because if he knew, you
I
kind
don't
of
know
want
if
to
I
say
believe
to
the
the
entire
dealer, don't
story.
you?
Because like, how can you get access to Churchill cigars and hats and fucking?
It doesn't
letters?
say where the seller had them, but I think he just had them like passed down through families. Is normally how it is, like with old
Wow.
antiques.
These
Like,
family,
passed down
these
and
family
just-
didn't rate him. They should have
Yeah,
told him what they
yeah.
were passing
Well, like,
down.
he obviously just didn't know. Like that's the killer thing with it, isn't it?
Didn't you read the letters?
Nah, he's obviously not.
10 grand. If
Would you read letters that you got?
Yeah, like a load of old letters.
Yeah.
You had a load of old dusty letters.
True.
But if there was a
wow.
cigar and a hat, you'd think something's up.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just be
Cigar
like,
and a hat.
Mr.
perfectly,
Monopoly.
perfectly normal
Winston
items.
Churchill.
Perfectly normal items from the 40s with these dusty letters.
Yeah. Imagine how the family members must feel like, what the?
Yeah.
For £2?
yeah.
It's a bit of a killer. I always think that as well. Like, if you found something, let's say you found like Spider-Man issue 1 in a charity shop, what are you doing? You know, they're selling
Man,
it
I
for a
can't
quid.
tell the charity, man. That's
Like,
cold.
are you splitting it in half? You keeping some of that? Are you going? what you saying?
No, I'm just thinking like,
Puppy looks at like,
yeah, like,
I mean,
it's
just
worth
thinking,
£1 million.
why though?
Huh?
Like, why is it worth so much?
because people have value on stuff that attaches them to history.
Yeah.
So if they have any sort of like a rare item, they're willing to pay lots of money. But you're right, none of it means anything.
Because the thing is, if you pay $1 million for that comic, you just have to frame it after that, right?
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, it's like art. You'd hold on to it, then maybe sell it on later. Or
Yeah, you're not paying it because you want to read something on toilet. Like,
Why not? Why
that's real
not?
wealth.
Yeah.
That
If I
is
spend
real-
$1 million on a comic book, I'm definitely reading that shit on the toilet. Who's gonna read the phone guide? Everybody has to read it on the toilet. Not even the number 2. I'm going for a P. Read the magazine in it.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Can you
Everyone's
imagine you get a child and just rips up a page in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what annoys me about these sort of stories is that these stories give you such hope that you will be the guy who finds this sort of hat or
Yeah,
this
and then you
they're
trinket
like,
it on for
it's
10
worth
grand.
it, and then you
Yeah,
buy something
yeah.
and you're like, oh, and you talk to someone like,
Yeah.
what do you think? Is it worth? And they're like, this is
And
a
the
piece
only
of crap.
vintage thing you have in your own life is like a PS1. And no one cares about that.
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
Pokemon cards.
Oh
Yeah.
mate, I held all my Pokemon cards onto them because I was like, one day.
But
this is gonna be
Nintendo
worth
But people
would
have
have
been-
been worth a lot if they didn't keep re-releasing it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Taking the value away from us hustlers that kept the
Us
original
hustlers.
NES.
No,
Like
SNES
from
yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
I bought the Donkey Kong game. Learn the Donkey Kong ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the
I got one of those, the remake, like a couple of Christmases ago, the Nintendo, the SNES. And
Yeah.
it's it's impossible to play now.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's like it's so
I
difficult.
had Street Fighter. I couldn't even do one fireball. I was like,
The,
this is
the hand-eye coordination required to play games in the 80s and 90s was ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
it's so complex.
Yeah.
Like it will
and
like
the
drive you
graphics
insane.
are like, wow, I've seen better.
Wait, which
I'm going
square
to play
am I?
Grand Theft. I'm going to play Grand Theft. You know, where I
Yeah.
can really shoot people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Right, guys, that is the end of the news. Okay, are we good to carry on? We good to roll?
Yeah.
All
Okay.
You good? Sweet. Right.
I'm good.
You need a break or anything here?
No.
Safe.
Mhm.
Cool.
Okay, just for the edit.
We do quotes for like, what, hour and a half straight?
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right, guys, welcome back. We are now going to move on to Fail of Your Life, starring Funmbi. Funmbi,
Da-da-da.
the floor is yours.
You know, it's like, you know, remember this? Did you remember This Is Your Life? Where they gave you that red book
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they tell you all the great things in your life. That's the fail of your life. You know, the red book is like really thin because you know it's your successes, but if they had the failure one, it'd be like a filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It'd be online only.
Online.
It's not
Honestly,
environmentally friendly.
it'd make a good television show with like everyone's like pastors getting dragged up on Twitter and stuff. Just be like, oh, we got this. This is like when you were.
Just bring out all your history.
Yeah.
Shit. So fail of my life. Where do you just tell you?
Any wherever you want to start.
Okay. The one I was thinking of was when I went to drama school when I was like 21. This was in Canada. I went to drama school in Canada.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, in
Why
Vancouver.
Two
why was
details wasn't expecting
yeah.
back
Do
to
you know
back.
the funny thing? Internet was kind of fresh at the time. So I just typed in an internet search, drama schools in America,
right?
and Vancouver came up. I was actually trying to go to the United States.
And that's why Jeeves is out of a job now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what?
It's
It
because
was
of that sort of
Jeeves.
results.
It was Jeeves I asked.
Well, you didn't
It was
ask Jeeves.
Don't ask
Google went out
Jeeves.
then. Google went out then.
What was that even as a concept? You had to ask the question. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I
like-
think
Asked
yeah.
Jeeves. And
Well,
Jeeves looked like a perv butler
yeah,
type
yeah,
looking guy.
yeah.
You know what I
giving you
mean?
the eyebrows.
Yeah, with the
Go on,
folding
go on.
hands.
Ask what you want.
Yeah, ask me.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
between us, eh?
Yeah. So that's
yeah.
I ended up in
Vancouver. Okay.
Vancouver, yeah. Which
So,
was,
so just before, what made you want to go drama school? That was evil, but yeah.
Something very dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember what it was at the time I was not doing anything constructive. And growing up as a first generation Brit, with my parents being Nigerian, and I'm a young black kid in Hackney, I didn't want to be a statistic because the statistic was we'd go to prison or gangs or violence or football and rap. I couldn't play football, couldn't rap, couldn't join a gang because I grew up on Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. So
And that's
there was too much love in me.
the requirements as well off that.
lads,
Look at, they looked at your UCAS and were like,
They looked at my
nah.
CV and said, nah. So I was out of that lane. So I needed to do something. And I was funny. And it's easy to get into the wrong crowd because it's just a lot of these people are your friends and everyone's just trying to find their way in life. And they might be doing things that are illegal or whatever. And it's just easy to be around that. So I just need to get away from just my circle and my environment. And my sister was like to me, you should go to drama school. Just figure out how to use your talent. Because I didn't know how to use it. I was like, I'm funny, but...
So how did you know you were funny? Did you just make people
I
laugh
knew-
in
yeah, I
the
knew I
church,
was- I
at
knew I could make people
school?
laugh,
Every,
yeah. I knew I could make people laugh.
You always did bits like at school and stuff. Is that?
Not really. I was in the class count, but I was very funny. I knew I could make people laugh. If it came to, because we used to have cussing matches where people would just go at it. If it came to that, I could handle myself. It was fine. But I was just a funny person. I could just make people laugh. I don't know. It was just one of those things. And so but I didn't know about stand-up. I thought stand-ups were geniuses, like were wizards or something like that. Because why would you go in front of people you don't know and try and make them laugh? Are you crazy? You know what I mean? Like, if they don't laugh, you're an idiot. So I was like, that's never for me. So I wanted to do comedy acting. So like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, I was a big Will Smith fan and maybe I could do it like that, like a Jim Carrey type thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I went to drama school to try and learn how to do that. But drama school was more acting, which was good because it gave me a platform in acting. And I understood what
Was
acting
it like
was.
Steiner and all that, like proper?
The drama school I went to in Canada was not like Chekhov or anything like that.
Right.
It was him.
Who was it? Like?
He's a failed actor. Now he's set up a drama
some
school.
bloke called Craig in a scarf.
Yeah. You know, like these comedy reviewers who are like fucking failed comics and now saying, well, I'll just review it instead. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. I'll just decide who's good.
I'll
Rather
just
than be good.
Pals back with me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So he was just a drama. He's been in stuff. One of our teachers was a lady from the Nortons. I don't know if you remember the Nortons. Is it the Nortons? One of these old Canadian shows about a family in the mountains.
And did they live with Bigfoot or something?
Not with Bigfoot, but it was kind of like
They're
that.
looking for him or
It
something.
was a really famous TV show. I can't remember. Is it the
The
I can't remember.
Mounties in it or something?
Can't remember. It was one of them old shows. And she was in it. So she was one of the teachers in the thing. which was a shame for her because she still felt she was Hollywood. But you know when you have to explain your own show to people, we're like, look, man,
You know, the Nortons.
if you're not in Friends, I can't really help you. You know what I mean?
They're like, is that a consultancy? What are you doing?
Yeah, we were just like, So that was what I was in drama school, and I remember I auditioned for a play, which was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I got the part. Which was nice. I was one of the orderlies. Now, the orderlies in the movie were black. So I don't know if I got it because I was black or because I was a good actor. But she told me my listening skills.
I'm trying to rethink that film. Wait, who was it?
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, you were
With I wasn't Jack Nicholson, but the Indian. You know the
yeah.
I was one of the orderlies in the mental home.
Oh, yeah.
So they were both black. So at the time, she said my listening skills were amazing. So I took that as the reason I was casted. You know, and it was a good experience. And then in that period, someone sent this really top agent, like an off-the-curb type agent, sent these bulletins to all the drama schools saying they're looking to represent.
Oh, sorry, just so quickly, if you don't know, Off the Curb, big comedy agency,
big comedy agency. So
one of
big
the biggest, like,
agency,
represents one of the biggest acts in
so
in
it was
UK.
one of those.
Reps neither me or
Vancouver at the time was Vancouver at the time now was a place for people. Hollywood was going to Vancouver a lot because they would be able to shoot for cheap.
Yeah,
I know they asked them was that you use a lot of Canadian actors. So a lot of Canadian actors were getting into Hollywood films at the time because Hollywood was present in Vancouver. So it was a good time to be in Vancouver. And the drama school was, the agent, was looking for 6 actors to represent between 16 and 21 or 15 and 21, get them while they're young. And they sent out all these they sent out a script to all these drama schools and they told people to come and audition. About 200 people auditioned. 250, something like that. It was mad. Everybody in Vancouver was buzzing about it. I just made the cutoff range. So, I said, yeah, I'm going to go for that. Yeah. I go for the audition, and I don't know if you've ever been in the audition room and you've read with like a casting director. You know when you know this is a good read? Like we are almost in love here. Right. Like I felt it, she felt it. She said that was good.
What was your monologue? What did you go for?
It was I cannot remember the scene. It was some teeny the scene they took it from, I can't remember. But it's like a student-teacher relationship. Right. And she was just encouraging me and I was taking the encouragement kind of thing. But it felt so real. And she said that was good. And I was like, yeah, that was good. And I left and I was thinking, man, this is exciting. You have to wait for the callback. And I was just like nervous. I'm waiting for the callback and they're not calling. I called them up and I was like,
yeah, right.
On some disguise. I don't know why I disguised my voice.
Wait,
Hey, I hear this guy, Funmbi's great.
Is that you, Funmbi? Like they would actually know.
That was acting.
It's like I was just showing you my range now. And I was like, I just wanted to know if you'd be like getting back to the actors. And they were like, we've auditioned 250 people. Okay, so might take a while. Okay.
Because I'm chilled. I just want you to know that I'm relaxed.
No hurry.
I've got a lot of other interests. So
it's like when you're really into a date, and then you're just like, so do you want to meet up like next week? And they go, oh, a bit busy. And you're like, yeah, like next year's fine. Like, I'm chill. Like
No
whatever.
rush,
I just
no
said
rush,
next
baby,
week because
no
it was
rush.
a word I thought of.
Just storm out and slam the door.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like phoned because I was just so anxious. And they called me the next day, actually, and they said, oh, we liked what you did. We want you to come in for the second phase of the interview. Now I'm thinking, oh, shit, okay, all right, okay, this is nice. Don't get too excited. Okay. Just, the second phase. Yeah. I get a phone call, like, the next day saying, yeah, this is the agency people. We loved what you did in the audition. There's a script for a movie going around for Paramount Pictures. We wanted to know if you'd like to read for the part. I'm on the phone like...
We wanted to know.
Yeah.
I was like, you had me at agency. Like, I was like, yeah, sure. You're trying to keep calm on the phone, right? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'd love to do that. Yeah, if you just come in tomorrow and pick up the script, that would be great. And I was like, okay, I'll come in tomorrow. I hang up the phone like, I'm picking up a script.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Did you go to drama school, like, telling everyone, like...
Yeah, I was like, someone call Hollywood, please, and tell them.
Literally. At that point, you're like, what am I going to order at the Hollywood restaurant when after I've won the Oscar?
I was like, tell Denzel, time's up. New kid in town. I was gassed. Yeah. I go in to pick up the script. The movie was called The Final Score. It actually got made. The movie was trash. Yeah. But it was a good teeny movie. A basketball player whose name's Darius Miles, and I think one of the girls from Scream was in it. But I went to read for this. I got the script. I highlighted the part. It was the first time I'd seen a script. Like, you'd be in drama school, you're doing like, plays in there. It was the first time I'd seen a script. And I had Paramount Pictures on the top. I mean, I almost cried. just Paramount. I've seen you all my life. You made Rocky. Like, wow. So I get home, I read my lines. I was living with one of my drama teachers at the time. Wasn't like a
with your drama teacher?
not in that kind of way. We had a lot of rooms
So
in
that's
the
where
house.
you got the audition then.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounded so weird.
He was a lovely guy.
Yeah, it was a lot of us that were living in at the time. And he helped me do the scene together. And, I think he was a bit jealous because I was getting this massive run. He's trying to sabotage my reading. I'm like, that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers for teaching me, bro.
Yeah,
I've
like,
sorted
no.
it now. See you later forever.
I was
Like,
telling him,
don't call
can
me.
you
I've
give me
changed.
some more,
Yeah.
please?
Maybe I'll come back and do a masterclass for you. That's
yeah. I was just like, yeah. But I remember the audition was at Lionsgate Studios in Vancouver, which is where they shoot a lot
Big
of movie
time,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm walking into the studios, and you're just seeing like how movies are made. And the two casting directors were from Save the Last Dance, which was a movie.
aware, I've
Julia
heard
Stiles,
Julia
yeah,
Stiles was
yeah,
the lead.
yeah.
So they were the two casting directors. And
had that been made yet?
no,
Oh.
it hadn't been made at the time.
What? That could have been, yeah.
Actually, had it? Yes, it had been made. It had been made. 'Cause that's what
okay.
she told me. Yeah, it had been made at the time. It had been made. And so I was just like, wow. But my whole thing was, I don't really mind the movie. I just want to get with the agent. Because I understood movies can come and go. I mean, I was reading for my first movie. The chances of me getting that in my head were like, I'd have to really blow their socks off to just get this part. And so I go in for the movie, and I was really nervous. I don't think it read well. Not the same feeling I had with the First Lady. And you know the funny thing, you know that in your heart, but because you're like Paramount Pictures, you tell yourself that was great. Don't listen to the hate. You're negative. Just be positive.
And I don't know if you do, but I do the thing where you do your own movie narrative in your head, like, oh, it feels like it went really bad, so I can't wait when it actually succeeds. And I'm the underdog everyone thought I was, and that was my moment.
I played so many scenarios. Like,
Yeah.
they'll call me and just say, just anything to give myself some kind of hope.
You're practicing how you're going to say, yes, I
Yes,
will.
yeah. So I go back home, and I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about the second interview. So they called me up for that one, and I went into the agency, and we had a bunch of people, and we had to read a scene, and I read, and they were like, you have an accent. I was like, yeah, I'm from London. And they're like, oh, how'd you work in Canada? I couldn't work in Canada because I was a British citizen. And unless you went to university, it's basically what they were saying was, you there's no reason for you to earn in our country. You can earn in yours. You see what I'm saying? That was the basic of it, which is fine. But it now hindered how I could get work because I'd have to get a work permit and stuff like that. So I explained that to them, but I was like, but if I get work and I'm backed behind Paramount Pictures, no one's going to argue my work permit. I didn't say that. So just hurry up. No, I didn't say that.
The British
But
embassy, very understanding.
yeah, I gave it and I went back home and I waited. And then they called me up and they said, they loved what I did and everything like that, but they weren't going to go with me. They didn't make the final cut, but, keep going and, da-da-da-da-da. Part of me was like, what about the movie? Did I get that? Let me not ask that question. But it kind of just, it dried out. And I remember the movie, I didn't get the part for the movie. And I remember feeling just lost. Like it was the first blow. Because I was fresh out of drama school. I was almost not believing this was possible. And I told my friend at the time who was in drama school with me as well, I was like, I'm done, man, I'm quitting. I'm not doing this. I don't want to feel like this again. And he goes, you're quitting after your first rejection. He goes, yeah, maybe you're not meant for this. And I was like, bitch, I was just upset, man. I'm coming back.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But it was, the 2 moments were so real because I was ready to quit after that first rejection because it felt bad. But then at the same time, I had to understand a lesson that you don't really win all the time. And that was one key thing I had to learn. You don't win all the time because in this industry, you get rejected way more than you get accepted.
Yeah.
And the sooner you can deal with that, the better you can progress. I let a lot of rejections affect me a lot as a personal person and say that was it my fault? Should I have done something different? But what I've come to understand now is you only learn when you fail. And it's good to fail, man. In fact, go out failing. Because when you go out trying to succeed, you put so much pressure on yourself to please everyone, knowing that you can't, and you're never going to be perfect. It's never going to be like the perfect vision. So just go out there and saying, just do your best. And that way, okay, I do this different, do that different. But at the beginning, I didn't understand that. I took it so personal when someone said no. It's like, what? It's come black in it. No, it was a black production. But my point was, it was just I took those things so personal. But part of evolving was understanding, man. in this industry, you could be so hot in a second and out in the cold the next.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, what the fuck? You know?
It's a weird journey to get up there, to get to that top. But it's important what you say about rejection and like anyone doing, not even just in the entertainment industry, but in life, you're going to receive 1,000 no's before you get that yes. So,
what?
Yeah.
What is it about your personality or rejection, or that means that you feel personal about it? Because I get the same thing, right?
Right.
You know, I'm one of those people where if I find out someone doesn't like me, I can't let that. You know,
I can't let that slide. Because you're such a great person.
And they haven't realised that yet. So I'm gonna pin them down and make them. But some people, and it's similar with rejection. Some people, someone doesn't like them, and go, oh fuck them, whatever. Like, you know, not everyone's gonna like you, whatever. That's fine.
I mean,
so what is it about?
You'll drive yourself insane if you.
Yeah, he's right on that point.
If you pick every time.
Yeah.
Or why,
Yeah.
or analyze why. Maybe if it's like a really big important thing, fine. But like if it's just just got
You
to
gotta
be just
brush
like,
it
yeah.
out.
Well,
I think for me, it's because I'm a very sensitive person. I didn't know this at the time. Funny thing is, when you're growing up and you're around, not geese, but mandem, you put on that persona.
Yeah.
You grow up in the neighborhood. You can't be sensitive. And people just say to me, you're too sensitive. So I used to try and hide that, try and really suppress it, because I didn't want to be the sensitive guy. But then I realized I'm a sensitive person. Like, what am I trying to do to myself? It's me.
Yeah.
But what I had to learn was how to curb that sensitivity. So that's why when someone would reject me, I'd take it personal and be like, man, they don't like me. Then that sensitive nature would be like, why? I'm a good guy. But then this industry made me realize, man, fuck everybody. Like you really build, and it's not like I'm no less sensitive than I was then than I am now, but I understand where it needs to be channeled. I know where I need to put that sensitivity into the work and not into the relationships that I build with because it's business half the time. I got dropped by 2 agents. Do you know what I mean? And the first one...
Imagine that, Tom, having two agents who could drop us.
Fuck me.
Whoa, how the other half lived.
Yeah. I think I've been rejected from 2 agents without even signing for one ever.
They were like, agents?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Who are they? The only agents we know in
It's
the
meant to be about
Matrix.
failure, man. It's meant
Like
to be
Agent Smith is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
But what I mean was like, the first one, I was like, wow, blindsided. It knocked my confidence to even perform. Like, what is it about me?
Could we ask you about that a bit? Like, what did they say? Or
Yeah,
you
what
don't
was
have to
it?
name names or anything. You don't have to talk about it
what
at all.
was
But
at
like,
the time,
what was it?
I just done the competitions. You get the buzz and then you get the agent. And in fairness, my first agent was Lisa Thomas. And she was a good agent. She had John Bishop and a lot of big names. She had, Matt Richardson. She had Ramesh. She had a lot of talent in her stable. But I think she wanted to downsize because she was trying to start a production company and push that. So she let a lot of acts go. That wasn't said in the email.
Right,
I got the generic email.
Oh, was it just a cold?
You know when you don't know who sent it? Like I was trying to write jokes about. I was like,
like-
I just wanted to know who sent the email. Who? I want to know that you cared.
No
Did you
reply at Lee at
Send, like, did you
Thomas.com.
press send? I want to know you press send.
Yeah,
you know.
Because I
But
just
at
want
the
to forgive you.
Yeah. But at the time,
how generic was it? Just literally like, we'll let
generic.
you
But
go.
here's the funny thing. This is where you learn. This is why I said I learned. At the time when she signed me, when they signed me, it was in glass office at tea. They showed me the vision. When they let me go, they didn't even let me in the building. But what I'm saying is, when she first signed me, she said to me,
They just updated the website.
yeah, with my picture off. You're refreshing. I know I was on this section.
Getting cropped from photos.
Yeah. But when she signed me, she said, I can change your life. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, but my life is changing. So where's the pen? But when she said that. But when they dropped me, it was just kind of like, wow. And I know it hit my confidence a lot because I was questioning myself and what did I do wrong? Because they said they didn't, in the email it said, I didn't develop as fast as they had hoped. And I was thinking to myself, how fast were you hoping?
Yeah.
But whatever, I get
Well,
it.
and
It's
it's one of
business.
those things as well where when they're on that side of the table, that they can be telling you this dream and stuff, but ultimately, like, it's you who's doing the work.
Well, here's
Like,
the
that's-
thing. You got to,
yeah.
and this is the thing we have to learn as performers in relationships with agents. Remember, they work for you. So many times we base our hope and dreams in them. It's important to know where you're coming from so you can have the best relationship with your agent. Because most agents are taking the chance of you to do something amazing. And then they can just take 15%. And I'm not saying that's what they do, but they also have the connections. And, they're good agents. All my agents were good agents. But it's important as the artist to understand where you stand so you don't feel out in the cold. And so I didn't have that when she dropped me. It was just like, oh, shit. When she dropped a lot of acts. She dropped Ramesh, she dropped Angela Barnes, she dropped Nathan Caton. So a lot of people got dropped. So it wasn't a personal thing, and I was able to
She
understand
dropped
that.
Romesh.
Yeah.
Regrets that now.
Well, you could say that, but she has John Bishop and Jason Manford. You just
Yeah.
need that. So, how you look at the table. But my point was, when she dropped me, I didn't take it personal. I didn't send her messages. I didn't abuse no one. I just kind of focused on how I could get better. Fast forward, I signed to my other agent. I got onto the John Bishop show, which she was the executive producer. And I saw her at the shoot.
Wow.
And she gave me a hug and she said, remember when I said to you I could change your life? I hope this is part of it. And so I said to myself, wow, I'm glad I didn't burn that bridge in the beginning, because she could have easily been a dick and be like, nope, he's not going to be on the show. Yeah. And that show helped me sell my whole Edinburgh tour. So what goes around kind of comes around. And even though she used that moment to say she changed my life, I get it. But I was still on her production. So I just learned that lesson there, like, this whole thing's a journey. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. The point of the thing is, keep your integrity and don't get too emotional or sensitive when that disappointment comes, because you just don't know what you're going to meet again.
And again, back to being the point, be nice to everyone on the way up.
Right, because when you come, do you know what I mean? And I was never the dick guy. Like, I was never, even most of the time, even when I was signed with agents, I was scared. Because it's like, man, there's so much pressure to deliver and be this person they want me to be. And you're not really sure who you are as a comedian. Because, after your first 5 minutes, you have no voice.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck you're talking about? You're just trying to maintain.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of kind of body blows, if you like, to get you to a point where, like Patrice O'Neill and Bill Burr, like, you just don't give a damn, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't care less. I've been through it. Like, what are you gonna tell me? I'm just gonna talk now and see where that gets you. And that's what I learned from those two experiences in terms of just moving forward. Because I wasn't even doing comedy when I left drama school. I was trying to get into acting. I went to another drama school in London, the Poor School.
The what?
The Poor School. It was in Pentonville Road in King's Cross. Like, Cat from EastEnders and people like that.
Okay,
the whole EastEnders cast went to the Poor School.
Right.
Which my drama teacher hated. Because he was more of the thespian.
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
And I was like,
You're the soap factory guy. No, we're not. We make
I was
real
like, look,
wax.
the only reason we're coming here is because we see them on EastEnders. Just take it, innit? But I went to that drama school and they were really, he was strict. Like, he's the kind of teacher that used fear and intimidation to train.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's good.
Did you react well to it or not well to
No,
it?
well,
Yeah.
what could you do? You're trying to learn, and he was a good actor. Good teacher, but just a wanker. like he'd be doing a scene, and he's not feeling it, and he'll just walk out the room.
Wow.
But
That's
sometimes
nice.
I grow a weird respect for people like that.
You
I don't
do,
know.
that's the thing,
I feel like maybe
though.
he's just gonna have a strict dad like that. That's it. I've got a weird
But
respect
you know
for people
what?
like
The
that.
thing that always used to kill me was when he'd leave, look how long you keep talking. It's like, fam, he's gone. You're doing shit. Stop, But you feel like, oh my God, I'm just going to keep talking, right?
I'll go harder. I'm gonna push. I'll push.
Even though he's
He
done
might
this.
come back and hear me.
That's it.
Can you imagine just coming back in? Oh, where was that? But that was what was funny about him. He was just an evil, but we all wanted his class because we knew he'd tell us the truth. Even though the truth was hard to swallow, we knew he wouldn't bullshit us. We knew if we did a good performance, he would let you know. And I got let go from drama school as well. The struggle was taking. I was working at Harrods in the morning, going drama school in the evening.
Okay.
I just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
But in that time, I did stand up.
Right.
Right. So that's when I started
That's the
doing stand up,
first time.
and then that's when things started working. When I did stand up, it worked. When I tried to do acting, it wasn't. And that's when I kind of found my path into standing. So failures kind of lead to successes in a sense.
Well, and it's there's lots of sayings around this. What I like is like 90 10% of life is what happens. 90% is how you react to it.
Yeah.
And if after that buff in Canada you'd
Yeah.
have gone, you know what? I don't want to perform.
Mhm.
Performing is too
Mhm.
nasty.
Mhm.
Then
I'd have missed out a lot.
Why are you? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
and the thing is, I guess as performers we know as well, it's just you just know you can't really fit in anywhere else. If creating or writing jokes where that bugs you like daily, you just know if I stop doing this, I probably just lose my mind because those instincts will never leave. Like you said, girls talking to you, you just had it. It was right there.
Yeah.
And then you'll do that to someone and they'll love it and they'll be like, you should do comedy. You're like, fuck, I quit 2 years.
Yeah, maybe one day. Yeah. Just like trying to delete all those YouTube videos you had.
And it's
Start running
and
old
the
routines.
thing is, people don't realize how amazing the journey of all of this is. Like, you have things to tell people. Like, did you ever meet the guy that just had it? And the story is just so, I was born and I became famous and then I became rich and then I toured.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
No struggle in there.
Yeah.
But if he had a struggle, people relate to you more when you have, really good setbacks, man. People really believe in you because you know what it's like to come back from zero. And that's hard, any rejection. Even when I didn't win a competition, I was like, well, they rigged that. I did a competition.
Oh, the casting agents are back from Vancouver, are they? I see how it
I
is.
did a competition where I ripped it. Like, I knew I ripped it.
Wait, which one?
It was Laughing Horse.
Okay.
And I got joint winner. I was like, joint with who?
Well, they give me it twice.
That's what I was thinking. Like, split decision. I was like, you're haters. But like any little setback, you just be like, ah. But then,
But it's the motivation, isn't it, to keep you in?
it's hard, man.
Do you want to share for a second part your worst gig story?
What is my worst gig story? Do you know, it'd be funny. This is my worst gig story. When I used to do black shows, innit? On the urban scene. We say the urban scene, but it was just black shows.
Yeah.
And there was this Nigerian show I was doing. Now, my parents are Nigerian. I am Nigerian, but I'm also British. I'm British Nigerian, whatever. But I can perform in front of Nigerians. You have to understand, there's levels to this. So there's Nigerians back home who are born in Nigeria who can come here. And then they're not really like us, but they're Nigerian. And then there's those that are born here. Now, there's a kind of not a beef, but like a privilege versus non-privilege type thing where they think, oh, you guys think you're special because you're born in London, but we don't really need you. There's always that kind of undertone in these environments. So I go on stage and, these shows are crazy, They're like 7 hours long. You have 2 million acts, lion tamer, someone's juggling, strippers, whatever.
That's just the audience. That's just the audience.
That's just the intro, So these shows go on for a lot of times. But it's an entertainment night. I get it. This is when I was up and coming as well. And I don't know if you've ever seen me perform. I'm not a hype comic. Like I don't run around the stage and have energy. So you really have to listen to me to enjoy what's going to happen. Sometimes these audiences don't have that kind of patience. I don't know if you've ever seen the Def Jam crowd. One comic was like, one comic was like, and when you do those crowds, they just want you to be funny. Like he said, he was walking to the stage and the guy was like, you better be funny, motherfucker. And he was like, can I get to the stage? Be funny on the way there.
Walk funny.
What the hell? So it's always those kind of, that pressure's there. So I go on and I'm doing my set. And they're kind of talking, not listening to me. There was a big music group coming on after me. I think they were just waiting for them to come on. I was just filling the time, which I respect. But I'm on stage. Just give me my chance. So they were talking.
How long were you booked for?
Oh my God. This is the question. How long was I booked for? I could do anything from 5 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how I'm smashing the audience.
Oh, really? Is
like, there's no time limits. Basically, once they've had enough of you, if you're going too long, someone will just say, come off. And you can just walk off. And no one's going to be like, well, that was weird. It's just fine. Because no one really had a concept of time.
Right.
So I was going to do like maybe 10, 15.
If you're smashing the doors off it, will they just be like, stay on?
Oh,
like,
yeah. If you're smashing the doors, they don't care.
Okay.
If you're stinking the joint out, even you know what, guys, it's not tonight. So I'm doing the show, and it's they're talking.
What time we saying of night then? So this is
like
long.
9:30, man.
Okay.
Almost 9:30, 10.
Right.
And
Okay.
the show's been
It's been on since 6. You know what I mean? Like they had a red carpet. People come late.
Yeah.
It's a poorly promoted run event.
Yeah.
But I always say this: Africans are sometimes they're just comfortable in chaos. Like the more chaotic the event is, the more smoothly it's actually running. Like I've been to shows where the promoter came and said, "Listen, man, we can't put you on. We've overrun, man."
we still get paid though?
Yeah, you'll
oh,
pay.
fine. Yeah.
Oh, can you just do 5 minutes? And you're like, really 5? I really wanted to do 20.
Yeah.
But I'll do the 5 though for the same fee.
Book me for an hour.
Yeah. So I'm doing the show and they're talking, and comic instincts, try to heckle a bit, and they were just being rude. So I just said, I'm just mad because I got a British passport. Shouldn't have said that. They went to town. Just stood up. What? I saw. Just laying into me. They wouldn't let me talk. The host came and took the mic off me.
Oh.
It was when I had to just kind of, you just take the L, just kind of stroll off. Like that. And I was just like, oh my God. It was just a chaotic.
Hostile enough to because we've had people come on and gigs turn that the promoter's been like, I think you actually might need to go out the back door. Like that level of hostility, or
well, no. I mean, no. I'm not that level of hostility because I was gonna leave as soon as I finished anyway.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, it wasn't personal. They didn't hate me. Just wanted to get off. Because as soon as I went off and they introduced the main act, they were dancing like I didn't exist. You know what I mean? So they didn't care. It's just that I touched a nerve with that line. And even people that were on my side were like, nah, you can't say that.
Wow.
And they just came at me and told me to get off the stage, and it was funny to me. But I had a comic moment. Because
Yeah.
you're like, I just pissed you lot off, and I'm
Yeah.
getting paid, you know. And because I was like, I wanted to be a dick. I was being a dick on purpose because you were talking while I was on stage.
Yeah.
But that's like my worst experience. I'm too nice for people to hate. Actually, you know what? Maybe not my worst.
Not too
experience-
modest though. Clearly.
My worst experience where I felt it was when I was in Montreal. I was doing something for Laugh Out Loud Network. It was a Kevin Hart thing. It didn't get released, but they flew me out, and we had to do a recording the night before at the Nest. It was a comedy club in Montreal, and I was like, cool. You know, I had to get my 8 tight, and I was nervous because it was a French crowd in North America. And I know they're used to black comedians from America, but black British, they barely knew we existed. You have black people in London. I was like, yeah. So
Was it quick? It was on that Reginald D. Hunter always used to say when he would like gig in with black British comics in America, they would always like Americans just like couldn't compute that a British voice was coming out of a black guy's face because they're just so used to it having an American accent.
what?
They're like,
Where you
what?
from?
Black people sound like that. They're like, just
So
can't.
like, what? So it's very confusing to them. So when we get to the show, the host doesn't show up.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have to do that old school thing where you introduce the comic after you.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Which is a nightmare if you have to say my name. And it's a nightmare when I have to say some other person's name. Well, I don't know. I can't bother to remember your name. I'm trying to do a show. So we go on. The first comic who goes on, he doesn't even set up the night. He just tells everyone, I'm not the host. I'm not supposed to be hosting, but we're going to start the show. So the audience is like this. Sorry, what is this again? And next thing you know, comics are on stage. So I don't enjoy my set. I just knew this is terrible. Stop and start, no feeling, no rhythm. I was like, this is going bad. And I started to think, shit, the taping's going to be terrible tomorrow. My jokes are dead. And I didn't even know if I did 8 minutes because I came off like after 6 because I couldn't take it. And I walked back, I knew I was trash because all the comics were like, that was good. You know, comics do that to you.
Yeah, when they feel like that guy needs a lift.
Do that tomorrow for me.
When they're shaking their head at you, dickhead, and you're like, I must have killed tonight.
When they can't look you in the eye, you're like, yeah, I did
Yeah.
well. When they're like, hey, good stuff, you're like,
Mate, no, I like that. That bit was really good. Yeah. Something in that, like talking about your gold routine. There's something in that one. Yeah, okay.
So I'm backstage, just
Got to flesh it a bit. But
I'm backstage, just licking my wounds, just like I'm quitting. I'm gonna let the UK down. I don't know why I came out here in the first place. And then Jim Carrey walks in to use the toilet. And I was just, I did a double take because I didn't know comics still use the toilet at that level. I thought, when you're Jim Carrey, why would you use in the green room? Surely there was a special gold toilet somewhere else. So I'm still trying to process, is that Jim Carrey? And he walks in, uses the toilet, and walks back out. And then they're like, I just bombed in front of Jim Carrey. Wow, this is amazing. So I had to tell the kids, like, yes. I was like, he's going to be on his Hollywood friend. This black guy was last night. He was terrible. But that was like a weird experience. I just like, shit, I bombed in front of a Hollywood A-lister.
But you know what? When you're talking about like rejection, things not working out, there's something so wonderful and special. Are you being in the room? Like
There was.
That's what I'm saying. Like
There was.
performed in front of one of the most well-known comedians of all time.
But I wanted my set to be better. Though.
Yeah, you want your set
even
to
if
be
he does
better.
come up to you and go, oh, mate, that was great. That was
But
really...
you know what? Even if he came up to me and said that was terrible, I'd still be excited. Like, I'm getting scolded by Jim Carrey. Like, how many times have you been told off by the friggin' the bouncer at Top Secret?
Some guy doesn't know anything.
Like, that doesn't know nothing about comedy, and you just have to take it. But at least this one time, it's someone who's done it. But apparently that was the club he started at. But I was not paying attention to the information they were giving us because I was trying to wrap my set. I was trying to work on my set, but that was you're right. That was an experience where even though I died in front of a top comic, that's an experience, man. Who else would you want to die in front of?
That's it. You fail, but then you come back and you fail, and you come back. So there'll be a time soon.
Where I get to
you're
watch some-
smashing it.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, Funmbi saw me die." That's
Yeah.
that's
And you
so
sit in the back
embarrassing.
like,
Yeah.
How will you react? Will you scold him? Or will you...
You'll come out and be like, "That was shit."
I just walk up to them and like, don't worry, I've been there. I have to use the toilet. But yeah, those were just, it's funny because no matter how you look at your failures, man, if you can find a story in them, because a lot of the failures I use for material, just to, because it's real and you can draw on real experiences and you realize you start to write something that's actually meaningful. And not like in an Edinburgh show where, there's like
No, like a
laughs
funny way. you mean.
for 20 minutes where it's just like, a deep. But I'm just talking of like really just having a moment to say something, like what Bill Burr would do, where he would paint the picture really well so that the joke even comes stronger because you really set the tone for them in the story aspect. So that's what these things, I feel for me anyway, they give you in terms of content and material. Because like if you didn't have them, you wouldn't know what to talk about other than just so who's gardening.
Hey, that's still my jokes.
Or like Brexit, eh?
Yeah, classic.
Because when everyone rinsed a Brexit or a Trump, routine. So you're just thinking, what am I gonna say about this that no one's heard?
Yeah.
So it's always good to have something that is just completely different. That's like that can also wow. Dr. Dre's not. You need to get Suge Knight out on the door, man.
Does not agree.
Rents up.
Just talking about how high flying we are, and then you gotta have these
yeah.
fails because then you get a sick routine. You get to where we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Sorry, mate, it's not a toilet. That's okay. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Jim Carrey there.
Jim Carrey.
It was just me like, so keep going, guys, and you can get to my so it's not the toilet. Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been All I Do Is Fail. But before we go, do you want to plug anything? Have you got anything coming up?
Our quote is full, coming out every Friday. Shout out to the man them. And just watch the Instagrams and the socials because we've got something cooking in the pot. And shout out to the All I Do Is Fail Massive. Keep failing people.
You got a show, don't you?
Yeah, but
What?
but politics.
Okay.
Bloody Jim Carrey again.
Yeah, politics, bro. So I can't plug it just yet.
We need to either you have to get a banner. Probably you got more money than me and Ali. So you guys need to get a banner, or we need to get a banner, so we can like differentiate. Because people have been like, what's going on here?
We're a family, man.
These
Okay.
not changed.
I know.
Yeah, it's full.
We're a family, man.
Who knew you could gentrify a podcast?
Wow, these guys are doing it. But no, we're a family. I know the backdrop scene, but keep supporting all the podcasts.
Yeah, man.
It's different tones, as you can see. This was a very good. I had the best time.
Funmbi's just reviewing himself. I actually smashed it in this. So
tore
next
this
episode, who
podcast
knows?
up. No, but this is a good. I had a great time with you guys.
Oh, thank
today,
you. Well,
'cause
thank
it's
you for
different.
coming.
People don't really care about comics. It's nice to know. It's only comics and care about comics, innit?
Yeah.
People don't really care about us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
well,
Just
they
make us laugh.
want you to, or as you say, walk funnier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's their
Man,
relationship
that's what
with
used
us.
to really like blow my mind when I'm like, I'm making all the people in this room laugh, and no one knows how I'm feeling inside. Like no one even knows.
You
how
are
I'm happy.
sensitive,
I know,
man.
right? I'm deep in it. I'm deep in the streets. I'm like, no one's knowing if whatever's going on in my life, because they come up to you like, you, and you're just like, yeah, my cat died. But yeah,
Right. Well, we would love to have obviously more of the quotes guys on.
definitely, man.
Right. Ali, anything you want to plug?
No, just get down to 8 of Tuesdays at Vauxhall Comedy Club. I've got previews coming out. I've got preview of the Hoop and Toy, actually, Sunday coming up.
We've got preview on Thursday.
We got preview
On Thursday. We got preview.
This-
on
yeah, we
Thursday.
have. Yeah, you saw
Yeah.
my message.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
preview. Wasn't sure where that was going to head, but it is preview at Angel. Bill Murray, one of the best comedy clubs in London,
Shout out to Angel.
at the P Rhyme time of 5:30 p.m.
The P rhyme.
so
Yeah.
so
I like that.
I know you're
Yeah.
going to be having like.
At work or whatever.
I know you're gonna be busy,
Also,
but
I'm not just asking you to come to watch us try some
you know
new
what?
material.
Everybody
I'll
work
take
for your lunch.
Yeah.
That way.
Get
Have a
out
word
at
with your boss.
4:30.
Yeah.
Get in early. I don't give a shit. Be there for 5:30.
Yeah,
I'll see you
yeah,
there
yeah.
with some half-written things.
Yeah. You can come see me at AAA at the Pleasance in Edinburgh. I guess we'll
Brap.
start plugging that. And I've also got a work in progress show in Edinburgh as well, 4:30.
Wicked.
Right, guys, this has been All I Do Is Fail. Thank you very much, Funmbi.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much, Ali.
Cheers, Tom.
Thank you very much, listeners and
Thank
viewers.
you.
Cheers.
All right.
Great time, guys.